Hi, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Oh, great. Perhaps you would like to put on your video so that I'm going to do a sharing session with you. But whatever, good morning to everybody. My name is Rachel, and I will be doing the webinar today with you on a very, very interesting and unusual topic. I am basically a soft skills trainer for the last 18 years, and I cover topics from leadership, communication skills to EQ and customer service. Without much ado, firstly, thank you very much to Excel Academy for hosting and for inviting me to conduct this webinar for you all. And also thank you very much to all of you for attending this webinar with me this morning. I know your time is very precious, so I will do my best to share as much with you as possible on this interesting topic. How many of you have heard of color brain? Have you heard of color brain, or do you know what is it all about, color brain? Yes, no? First time. Okay, very good. Basically, color brain is about the way you process information. A person process information in the brain, very much like a chip in the handphone. And the way you process the information will give rise to your working style, the way you interact with people, your communication skills, etc. So basically, there are 4 brain colors. This color brain is a combination. It's a combination of information taken from brain theory together with personality and character development. Now I'm going to go through a very short, simple PowerPoint presentation so that you can know it's easier for you to understand. And later on, when I'm doing the sharing session and group discussion with you, I hope that the video can be on so that I can share with you and answer some of your questions. So now let me share my PowerPoint, a short PowerPoint presentation of what color brain is all about within these 40 minutes or so. Okay, so you have a color brain. Normally I do color brain together with emotional drivers. Color brain basically refers to how you do things, right? And emotional drivers refer to why you do things. So when I combine these two, color brain together with emotional drivers, it basically is everything about a person, why the person do certain things and how this person is operating, whether at the work environment or in his personal life, right? As I mentioned, my name is Rachel Koh. I, of course, have certification in color brain, human drive. I'm also a certified master performance coach. And of course, I'm PSMB certified trainer. I also have certification in NLP and hypnotherapy. I certainly am not going to hypnotize you. I basically use hypnotherapy when I'm doing stress management because to put the participants in a very relaxed state. Now, color brain is formulation is based on personality dynamic, human dynamic research by Dr. Sandra Siegel, combined together with Ned Herman's whole brain thinking, and from Cloninger's temperament and character research. So out of these 3 research comes the concept of color brain. Now, color brain, basically the way we process information genetically inside our brain, and the way we process this information genetically inside our brain give rise to the way you interact with people, you communicate, your strength, your weaknesses. Now it's very much like a chip, right? Like for example, iPhone is using Motorola chip and Intel chip is used for Android. However, it doesn't mean that the Motorola chip, which is created for the iPhone, cannot be used for Android. It can, but it won't be as good as with Motorola. Similarly, the Intel chip, which is created for Android, doesn't mean that it cannot be used inside an iPhone, but it won't be as good as the Motorola chip. And that's the whole basis also of color brain, that if you, there are basically 4 color brains, which is red, green, blue, and purple. So it doesn't mean that if you are a red brain person, right, that you cannot move and operate like a green brain. You can, but you won't be as good as the original green brain. So that's the meaning of it. Yeah. Color brain assessment. Basically, later I'm going to show you, this is a questionnaire that we use. Questionnaire that we use to assess the color brain. So once you done the questionnaire, we calculate the points, and in the points I have a chart here for you to fill in, and from there we can deduct your brain color, or we can evaluate your brain color. So in color brain is to know more about yourself, understand yourself, your strengths, your talents, your weaknesses, your limitations, and what can you do about it. Yeah, so that's what color brain is all about. So that is a part of the questionnaire that you can see there. And after you've done the questionnaire, you total up the points, and in each point, it will tell you which color brain you are. All right, and this questionnaire is called the Color Brain Communication Inventory. For short form, we call CBCI. So this is the CBCI, the 4 pages that you see here. And then I also have color brain cards. These are basically color brain cards that you see here. We use these color brain cards basically to double confirm that that you are this brain color. I'm so sorry, something about the battery. Okay, so you have that. Okay, now 4 brain colors. The first one is called green brain. Of course, this green brain, whether you're green brain, red brain, blue brain, or purple brain, we deduct that and we evaluate that from the questionnaire that I showed you just now. Now look carefully at the green brain and the way this person is operating. Now you can see the wording there. I stands for data and information. And then you can see the figure of a person in action. So we call that taking action. And then you can see like a magnifying glass. So that symbol stands for analysis, right? Now let's look carefully at how the green brain operates. Now, if you notice that the green brain has just one small piece of information, immediately he will take action. Immediately he take action. And then of course, when he take action, oops, then he discovered that, hey, something is wrong, obviously, because he is taking action based on so little information or data. So then he quickly go into analysis, some simple analysis, what's wrong. Then after he do the analysis, then he says, oh, actually, I don't have enough information. So he goes in and collect a little bit more information, then he takes action. Do a little bit of analysis and then more action and action. So basically, we can say that the green brain person is action-oriented, right? He takes action based on very little information, and that's his style, all right? He do first, and then he think next, all right? So that is the green brain. Let's look at some of his key characteristics of the green brain, right? The green brain, nothing is connected for the green brain. Like, for example, this morning, I could have a big argument with you, right? But later on in the afternoon, I will come back to you just before lunch and say, hey, friend, do you want to go for lunch with me? And then this friend is thinking, hey, excuse me, this morning you had a big argument with me and you called me blockhead and whatever, and now you're asking me to go for lunch. Because for the green brain, nothing is connected. And this is where most of the misunderstanding is. What happened in the morning really has no connection with what has happened in the afternoon for him or in the evening. So this causes a lot of confusion for people who interact with the green brain, right? Because for the green brain, whatever takes place, whatever I said to you in the morning has no connection whatsoever with whatever is happening in the afternoon. The thinking is non-linear, that means it's not structured, it's not following any system. And when your thinking is non-linear, it basically demonstrates the creative mindset. So this person is highly creative. Thinking is, when your thinking is very procedural, the thinking is methodical, the thinking is step by step, you will find that this person is not creative, because creativity and procedures are totally opposite. He needs some feedback to do his work, not much. He is always able, because of his creative nature, he's able to come up, he's an ideas person, able to come up with a lot of ideas, solutions, and alternatives, and always moving forward. He do things in a very fast, fluid manner. Fluid manner means creative, right? He does this and that, not following any structure or order, but he exactly know what's happening. Green brain sees the big picture, but not clear, a little bit fuzzy. He can see the big picture, right? But a bit fuzzy. He's not good at details. He asks a lot of questions. Creative person asks a lot of questions. He's very focused. He works and interacts well with other people. Fairly good communicators, right? Fairly good communicators. He's able to create from nothing. So that makes him very innovative, adaptable. He's able to shape and reshape ideas. That is a creative format. So basically, in a nutshell, this is what the green brain is all about. One clear example is Tony Fernandez, a good friend, Virgin boss, Richard Branson. Richard Branson is a green brain. He's highly creative. He started again similar to AirAsia. He started with his Virgin Records, and from Record he went on to property, to shopping malls, and then he went on to start, of course, the first low-cost airline, or one of the most successful low-cost airline in Europe to serve the European market, called Virgin Airlines. And once when he wanted to launch his latest route to New York, non-stop from London to New York, he called all the reporters, but when the reporters went to his office, they couldn't find him. So they're wondering, where on earth is Richard Branson? And later they found that Richard Branson, the secretary of Richard Branson, asked them to go to the hangar where his aeroplanes are being kept. And Richard Branson is standing on the wings of his aeroplane. And he said to the reporters, let's start the meeting. So this is what the green brain is all about. Yeah. And then when he wanted to promote his first non-stop low-cost flight from London to New York, he went into a hot air balloon, and then he had the words printed on the balloon very big, non-stop flight, low cost from London to New York. And he flew all the way from London to Europe by himself. And the staff are, bye boss, we wonder whether we'll see you back again. So he's very marketing savvy, he's very innovative, doing crazy things. And that's why the green brain is referred to as chaotic processing. Chaotic, not so much that they're in chaos, but because of this creative nature of them, they are jumping from one idea to another very quickly, right? But for Richard Branson's case, highly successful. Yeah, so that's the green brain. Let's move on to the next color, which is red brain. Now, very interesting. Red brain is called linear processing. So in actual fact, like reverse to green brain. Let's look at his working style. Now, if you see carefully at my picture here on the PowerPoint, you have information, 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 information. Remember, green brain was just one piece of information. He takes action. But red brain must look for not too much data, just enough data. And then he says he's going to analyze. And after he got enough information, he analyzed very thoroughly, then the red brain will take action. So that's why it's called linear processing. And you can see now the difference between the red brain and the green brain. Let's look at his strong points and his weak points. Now, the red brain, of course, have a very clear purpose and direction. To the red brain, clarity is power. The red brain will not start any project. He will not take any action until he's absolutely clear, because clarity to him is power. He's absolutely clear in his head. What is it that he's about to do? What is the end result? He must see the big picture, and then he take action. So you can see that's why he doesn't immediately jump into action like the green brain. He's very clear and precise in his communication. He's not a good communicator actually, but when he communicates, he's short, clear, he's very clear what he wants to say to you. Of course, he processes facts, logical, because it's linear processing. Linear processing basically means step by step, so it's logical. It's rational, it's objective, it's based on facts. right? It's based on facts. So in this case, the red brain makes less mistake compared to the green brain, right? But the interesting thing about the red brain is that when he makes the mistake, he can't get over it. It takes him a long time to get over it. He cannot believe that he's so thorough and yet he can make a mistake. So it bugs him and it upsets him a lot. That's the green brain. And that's the red brain. For the green brain, he makes a mistake. What's that? I'll come up. Oh, don't worry, boss. I'll come up with another idea. This idea doesn't work. It's okay. I'll come up with another idea. And he just gloss over his mistakes and he'll come up with more ideas for you. Don't worry. Okay, this idea doesn't work. I have 5 more ideas for you or 5 more suggestions. But it's different for the red brain because he spends so much time to analyze and he spends so much time to collect the data. So when he makes a mistake, it's actually very difficult for him to accept that he actually made a mistake. Red brain is very structured. He must have a structure, right? Yeah? He must analyze, structure, think through. Red brain is very controlled because of his logical, rational manner. He doesn't express much information. Very calm under stress, that's a strong point. But the fact that he doesn't express much information, that already gives you the hint that it's going to affect his relationship and his communication with other people, obviously. Right. And then he is seen as reserved because he doesn't communicate much. He doesn't show much expression on his face, right? And his body language is very controlled. So people see him as very reserved, all right? And because he's reserved, people think that he's insensitive and uncaring, which is interesting. It's not that he's insensitive and uncaring. It's uncaring. It's just that he doesn't express his emotion. He controls himself very tightly. And because of that, people think that he's not sensitive and he doesn't seem to care. Not like the green brain. Oh, how are you? Is everything okay? It's not like that for the red brain. Now, the roles for red brain, obviously, strategic planning, especially long-term, because red brain can see. Green brain see the big picture, remember I said, but fuzzy, not clear. Red brain sees the big picture very clear, all right? Because clarity is his power, clarity is his purpose. So when he sees the picture, he's very clear, okay? So strategic planning, excellent for him. You want to come up with somebody for SOP, standard operating procedure, please look for the red brain. You need someone to come up with a wonderful vision, a long-term, mid-term, short-term vision for your company. Please look for the red brain. Okay, and he's also good at delegating. Now, one good example, of course, of a red brain is, of course, Bill Gates. All right, used to be one of the richest men in the world. Now I think he's number 3. I don't know, number 2, number 3 now, I guess. Right, he is factual, and Microsoft was so successful, I think, all these years. And even though the US government has tried to take Microsoft because they consider him a monopoly, and US have antitrust laws, but they really couldn't succeed because he planned so well. From the day he started Microsoft in his garage, in his house, till now, how many 20, 30 years later, he has already planned, because long-term planning, he has already planned, right? From the day he started, what is going to happen. So that's why you find Microsoft is very solid. He has a clear sense of purpose. He knows exactly what he's doing. He has very long-term, good long-term planning skills. Clarity, he's very clear exactly what he's doing. He's factual. Everything he do is based on factual, objective, logical. So you can now see the difference. Oh, by the way, just sidetrack a little bit. On the green brain, I forgot to mention, perhaps if you like to also share with me, the green brain, what roles are excellent for green brain? Remember, he's creative, he's fast, he's full of ideas. So obviously generating ideas. I think sales is good, you know, short-term planning, because he can see the big picture, but it's not clear. So short-term planning for the green brain, not long-term planning, right? But coming out with ideas, brainstorming, research and development, that's excellent for the green brain because he's an ideas person. Okay, from there, let's go on to the next color, which is blue brain. Blue brain, intuitive processing. So just to repeat again, green brain, we have chaotic processing. Chaotic in the sense, not really in chaos, but more creative. And the ideas all over the place, very fast, right? And red brain is linear processing, very logical, very structured, step by step, right? No nonsense, okay? And now, of course, blue brain is intuitive processing. Very interesting. Let's look at the working style of blue brain. Yeah, very different from the other two, the green brain and the red brain. Now let's look at the blue brain. He starts off with a little bit of analysis. Instead of data, he starts analyzing first, and probably he's analyzing the environment, what's happening in the environment. And then, oops, I need some data. So he goes in and collects some data or information, analyze a bit, collect some more information, analyze some more information. Then only he takes a little bit of action, analyze some more, take a little bit of action, analyze, and then some more action, and then analyze a bit of data here. All right, very interesting, this format, very different from the red brain and the blue brain. Let's see. Right, why is the blue brain like that? Analyze a bit, and then get a little bit of information, analyze here, take one action, analyze again, some more information, and then take one more action, and then analyze. Because imagine intuitive processing. The blue brain process everything in terms of EQ, right? His emotional base is EQ. He's very, very sensitive. He's very sensitive and intuitive of others. This is a people's person, all right? Very high level of empathy when you're a people's person. In actual fact, reverse or opposite to red brain. Red brain, the empathy is very, very low because the red brain is based on facts, is based on logic, is based on rational. But blue brain is based on feelings or emotion, people's emotions. Why are you so sad today? What's wrong? How can I help you? Empathy, very high level of empathy. Because of this level of empathy and the extra sensitivity towards people and the environment makes the blue brain an excellent people person. It's excellent people, right? The green brain, nothing is connected. Remember, I told you, the blue brain, everything is connected. The world, the earth, the ocean, the sea, the people, the human beings all over the world, everything is connected. The energy, all is connected. That's blue brain because it's intuitive processing. And the environment is very important for the blue brain when he operates, right? So he's also very much into the eco thing, yeah, eco, take care of the environment, insightful of the surroundings. For the women who are blue brain, very good in multitasking. So this woman, for example, he's preparing dinner at the kitchen, frying the vegetable. She can answer the phone, or at the same time talking to the friend, and then at the same time can put the child or the baby beside her so she can keep an eye on the child, and so on. And then at the same time, while she's frying the vegetable, the soup is also boiling. Multitasking, very good for the women, especially the women, not so much the men. Because of this sensitivity towards others, and they're intuitive and the high level of empathy, so you find that they're versatile. They can play many roles, and also because they can multitask, so they can play many roles. Now they communicate at a deeper level. If you do coaching and counseling and mentoring, perhaps especially coaching, that would be excellent. But in day-to-day communication, the way you communicate, talking about the environment and everything is connected, I think a lot of people are lost, right? So it is a good point, but it is also that people are like, what you're talking about, we don't quite understand, why are you connecting everything together? The world and the energy and everything all connected together, they can't understand. Because at that deep level, yeah. And of course, they're very expressive. How are you today, Rachel? Is everything okay? Oh, you look so down. Can I get you a cup of coffee? Would you like to talk about it? Would you like to share with me exactly what you're going through? So this is the blue brain, people's person, yeah. And natural organizers. So if you, for example, if you have 2,000 or 3,000 staff in your factory or in your work environment, please, and you want to organize, okay, after the COVID is over, right? We want to organize a big family day. Since almost 2 years, we can't have anything, we have no family day. You look for the blue brain, these natural organizers, especially when people are involved, because it's good with people. And the fact that because he used intuition, and unlike the red brain, it's not based on hard facts, it's not based on logic, people tend to sometimes don't take him seriously. Hey, where's the logic? Hey, where do you get the fact? Your intuition, okay, you can't make a decision based on your intuition. Where are the facts? Where the logic? Where's the structure? Where's the system, right? So that can come across as not such a strong point. And because the blue brain sayang people, he likes people so much, he's a people person. So when he is the leader, when you make him the leader, you find that sometimes his teammates make a mistake and nothing to do with him. They went and act on their own without informing the team leader, the blue brain team leader, and they make a mistake and got into trouble, right, with the management or something. this blue brain, so much so that sometimes he will come in, and he will take the blame for his teammates because his attitude is, oh, okay, I didn't ask you to do it. You went out and do these things behind my back. But because you're on my team, right, I'm responsible for you. I'm accountable. So he can sometimes take the blame for his teammates. That's how empathic and how people-oriented the blue brain is. Right, obviously, he's a team player, obviously. Good communication skills. The blue brain has the best communication and the best relationship skills simply because they are not task-oriented, they are people-oriented. Their main focus is people first, then the job. Organize the people, get the people together, motivate the people, and then get the job done. Whereas red brain is get the structure, get the task, and then just give the order, just delegate the job. No need to be empathic. I'm the boss. Why do you want to empathize? I'm the boss. I already arranged everything. I've created the structure. I've created everything. I've created the SOP. I've created the vision and so on and so forth. Just follow. So there's more red brain, but blue brain is different. Yeah. Of course, our Richard Branson's a good friend, which is Tony Fernandez, Air Asia. The fact that Air Asia, of course, excluding these 2 years, that one is nobody's fault. Okay, there is just a very, very unusual situation we're going through at this point of time. But just before, if you look at his rise, right, Tony Fernandez at his rise from just one plane to now, I don't know, 260, 265 planes, and doing and being voted, I think, 10 times consecutively the best low-cost airline in Asia or in the world. I think it's in the world, right? 10 times, you know, that's a lot of times winning this award. And the big success of Air Asia, number one, is Tony Fernandez, blue brain, able to get the people together and get them motivated to his big vision. Everybody can fly. That is his number one big vision. Everybody can fly. He's able to do that exceedingly well. Everybody buys into this big vision, right? That we want to be the best low-cost airline in the world, because we want everybody can fly. Doesn't mean that because you're a clerk, you're earning less money, or you are a cleaner in an office, you earn less money, you can't fly, right? I want everybody to be able to fly, right? And once when he won an award, he didn't know about it because the airlines and himself won a lot of awards over the last 10, 15 years of Air Asia's assistance. The reporter came to him, the journalist came to him and said, oh, Mr. Fernandez, congratulations, congratulations. Your airline has won another award. And Tony Fernandez is, really? I had never heard about it. So the journalist showed him the letter or the report or something. There, it's already in black and white that you have won this award. And do you know what the blue brain says? This is what the blue brain will say. The first thing he heard that, and he says, oh, I must thank my staff. That's the first thing, not him. I must thank my staff. And it is thank you to their efforts, to their teamwork, to their commitment, to their accountability, to their passion that I'm getting this award. So for the blue brain, it's the people first. It's nothing to do with me. It's my people get the award, not me. Although it was a personal award, it was not for the airline, it was for him personally. But he still says, it's my people. I must thank my people and thank my employees, my staff, and my personnel. That is classic blue brain. That is classic blue brain, okay? Getting people together, come together for a greater vision, right? And I had a trainer friend whose husband, I think, is a classmate of Tony Fernandez. So she sometimes used to tell me stories about Tony Fernandez. I haven't been to his office, yeah, but she told me that his office is basically open, right? Open style. There are no doors or something. Even he's in his own office, the door is always open, and everybody calls him Tony, right? Not Mr. Fernandez. And even the cleaner lady or the tea lady, hey, Tony, how are you? Yum cha, yum cha. Hey, this morning, let's have yum cha, like that. So that's blue brain. How they will create the environment is family, is like one family, is very cozy. We are one family. We take care of each other. And there are no, why do you call me Mr., right? I am one of you, and so on and so forth. And of course, his classic story is that when he first started Air Asia with just that one airline, when he bought over the airline from DLB Highcom, I think it was Bajaya Airlines, and changed it to Air Asia for $1. All right, so when he first started, he actually dressed up like a passenger, not like a boss, right? Put on his cap, and then he sits at the back of the plane and he observes everything. This is blue brain style, right? Are the people happy? This is the first time I'm flying as Air Asia, the first plane, the first time Air Asia is flying, right? And are the people happy? How are my staff interacting with the passengers? You know, are the people liking my low cost and so on and so forth? Of course, now he start the food delivery, and typical blue brain, he's the first one, right? You saw his picture on Facebook, all right? He's the one carrying the food, all right? Air Asia food, right? I believe it's called Air Asia food, and he delivers it to the customer. He's the first one to do it. All right, that is classic blue brain. Same thing that he does for his airline, he's repeating now for his Air Asia food, and we wish him well, right? Because of all these unusual situations they're going in. So obviously, if you ask the blue brain, what is the blue brain, their strengths, what is the role for blue brain? Obviously, excellent for human resource, anything to do with people, customer service, handling difficult people, as a motivator, maybe as a, let me see, blue brain, as a counselor, coach will be excellent, coach, counselor for the blue brain, HR, human resource, anything to do with people, all right, that's blue brain. And of course, working in a team, he's a team player. A little bit creative, but not as creative as the green brain. So that's our blue brain. And finally, the last color, obviously, is purple brain. Purple brain is called relational processing. Everything is like in order, but in a system, right? It's very good system. Let's look at the working style of purple brain. Very interesting from the other three. We have green brain, working style, red brain working style, and just now we just did blue brain working style. And now let's look at purple brain working style. Okay, let's look. Information. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bits of information. Green brain is only 1, red brain is 4, blue brain is doesn't even start with data, starts with analyzing first because he's analyzing the environment, I guess. Then he analyzes a little bit, not much, and then he takes action. Interesting, isn't it? So you just think to yourself, is this person going to be fast or slow? The answer is so obvious, right? Is this a fast compared to the green brain? The green brain jumps first before he thinks. The green brain takes action before he thinks. He doesn't even think. Green brain doesn't even think. Act first, and then correct the mistake along the way. That's green brain. But look at the purple brain, right? A lot of information. Let's look at his let's look at his characteristic in more details, his strengths and his limitations. Right. To the purple brain, data is king. Data is power. Data means information is king, is power. And all the data are linked. That's why we call him relational processing. He needs a lot of details. Boss, I cannot start the job because there's not enough details. You don't give me enough details, so I have to go and collect it. There's not enough information. I can't get started, boss. Right? I need to collect more information. In fact, the purple brain sometimes collects so much information, you can use it for the next 10 years. And honestly, you can use his data for the next 10 years. He collects so much information. He needs lots of information to make a decision and take action. I cannot. There's not enough data. How can you ask me to do this project? There's no data, not any piece of data. There's not enough information. Okay. Yesterday you said you collect some information, but it's not enough. It's not enough. The data is not enough. I need more data. I need more data, more information, right? And he needs a sense of direction. So the purple brain needs a little bit more, you can't sort of leave him to do his work, right? You must give him a sense of direction, where it's going, what it's all about. And then actually, purple brain is not so much a team player because he prefers to work alone. It really stresses him out when he has to work in a team, because he feels that other people cannot get as much information as he do, and they cannot be as meticulous and thorough as getting information as he does. So he is really, I prefer to work alone. I work best when I'm alone. I can get all the information I want, get all the data, set up the system, and then I take the action. So that's his thinking, right? there's a very strong sense of individuality, not so much a group dynamics, right? Meticulous with especially details. This guy obviously is good for systems and operations like manufacturing, IT, obviously, yeah, IT, manufacturing. He makes things practical for you, right? Because both, okay, the red brain is structure, right? The red brain is clarity, is rational. The purple brain is systems, relational and database and information based, and is systems. So both of them will come because they are both task oriented rather than people oriented. The green brain and the blue brain are actually people oriented, as versus the purple brain and the red brain are actually task oriented. And because they are task oriented, they don't focus on people. They focus on the structure and the system first before the people. So people always see them as insensitive, emotionless. You don't care about us. You don't care how we feel. You know, we all have emotions. You don't care about emotions. And both of them are seen as reserved. They don't express their emotions readily. They control their emotions. And because of this controlling of the emotions, they are seen. They're really not, say, insensitive or uncaring, but they are seen. They are perceived as insensitive and uncaring. We have two persons here, of course, Steve Jobs now up there, and Michael Dell, the founder of Dell Computers, right? Both of them are very specific, all about details and systems. They must get it perfect. One strong weak point of the purple brain is because of their obsession with details. They're obsessed to being perfect, and so work under extremely high stress. They want to get it perfect. Rachel always say, cukup gemilang, cukup cemerlang, all right, cukup terbilang, cukup lah. Why do you want it to be perfect? You don't over gemilang, over cemerlang, over terbilang. Then that is called perfectionism, high stress at the workplace. And purple brain, not all purple brain are like that, but purple brain has the tendency towards this perfectionism because of its obsession with details, its obsession with systems, and its obsessions with details and information, right? I actually was teaching a group of bankers, right? And one of them was a scholar, government scholar. So he was sent to Stanford University, one of the famous Ivy League universities in America. And during his school holidays, of course, he was selected to do an internship with Apple Computers in Silicon Valley in USA. So he went there to do his internship, and he said he has never been so stressed out because he was some days or some projects he actually has to work directly with Steve Jobs at that time, right? And he says that when Steve Jobs gave him a piece of work to do, Steve Jobs basically don't leave him alone. It's like breathing down his neck, pointing out everything. Was so obsessed with data, so obsessed with getting it correct, getting it perfect. And then I think in the end, he just worked a few months, even though it's Apple Computer, I think he resigned, from the internship and went to look for another internship somewhere else in another company. He said he was so stressed, I couldn't take it because Steve Jobs couldn't leave it alone, and he wants everything perfect and all the details must be there. Every bit of detail he must check, right? And apparently, from what I read about his biography and his biography about Steve Jobs, is that to prepare for a half an hour speech will take him days and days. He will practice and he will go over days and days just to give a 30-minute speech, right? That is Steve Jobs. That's perfectionism. And Apple is where Apple is today, not really the most profitable company in America, but the most highly admired. I think today is still the most highly admired, even though Steve Jobs is not around. Most highly admired company in America. And his strength, right, with the systems, with his meticulous attention to details, obviously make it so. Yeah. So these are the four brains, color. So far, any questions? But perhaps we leave the question towards the end. Yeah. So I'll just finish quickly the presentation, and then we can have a discussion. Sumita, let me know about the timing. Okay, now color brain, I show you this as well, right? You can see it's from this questionnaire. I took a picture. So you can see the four colors there. You have green, you have red, you have blue, and you have purple. So when you do the questionnaire and do the scoring, you will know where you are. Now, if you notice that the green brain is directly opposite to the purple brain, and the blue color or the blue brain is opposite to the red color or the red brain. Now, this simply means that these two colors are in total conflict. And that's where conflict and misunderstanding are, because these two colors are totally opposite to each other. The green with the purple and the blue with the red. But when I look at couples, I look at couples in real life, you always fall in love with the person who is directly opposite to you. I don't know why. Love is blind, I guess. Very interesting. I always notice that you always fall in love with the person who is directly opposite to you. Like the green brain will tend to fall in love with the purple brain, and the red brain will fall in love with the blue brain, right? But you're totally opposite. And your biggest issue here is communication. All right, the green brain has a lot of communication and relationship issues with the purple brain. Similarly, the red with the blue, because the green brain is next to the red brain, so it's easy for green brain to move towards the red, and easy for the green brain to move towards the blue because they're just next to him. Yeah. Same thing with the blue brain. It's easy for him to move into the green brain or a little bit into the purple brain, but not into the red. And then if you look at the red can be very creative. You know, I met red brain people who are fairly creative because they can move easily into the green, or they can move easily into the purple. When I use the word move, it means to adapt. You have to adapt. So now to give you some simple example. For myself, you look at the way I speak and the expression of my face, you know, and so on. I'm basically green brain. I'm highly creative. I teach a course called creativity and problem solving. So I'm very creative there. Green brain, I always do things without thinking, so a big headache for me. So what I do to correct myself, I write little stickers, you know, or post-it notes, and always I put that think before you act, because I'm green brain. I don't think before I act. So I stick it everywhere, on my cupboard, on my mirror, on my wardrobe, on my dashboard, on my car, on my computer, the monitor one corner, I stick it there. Think before you act. So that's how I correct myself, because that's my biggest weak point. Make a lot of mistakes because you don't collect enough information. You go and make a decision and you take action. All right. And about 10 or 12 years ago, I was approached to ask to do EQ training. So of course, I didn't have much information. So I went to take courses. I do a lot of research on the internet. I buy books, I read, and so on and so forth. I attend other people's EQ courses and so on. And I get myself be certified to do EQ classes. And then I realized that when I run EQ seminars, at the end of the seminars, quite a lot of participants, not a lot, sometimes a few, sometimes quite a few, will come up to me and says, Rachel, you're not in a hurry to go back, right? Is it okay? I talk to you for a while. And then they start telling me all their issues, their problems with the home, with the family, with the boss, with the colleagues, with the work, with the job, with the health, with money, with everything. And then sometimes they would cry. And I feel so sad. I don't know what to do at that point of time, you know. And they come crying to me because I just conducted a course on EQ, emotional quotient, right? And then I come back and I think about it and I say, I feel very distressed. You know, I feel so helpless seeing them cry and I can't help them. So I went in to do counseling courses. I took up counseling courses. I took up NLP so that I can help them. I went to hypnotherapy. At least I say, I don't want to hypnotize them, but I can make them very relaxed and make them feel good about themselves. And then I went to take, of course, coaching. I'm a master performance coach. I have a certification in performance coaching, right? And when that happened, you know what happened? My blue brain starts to come out without I realizing it. So when I did this color brain certification about almost now 7 years, 6, 7 years ago, with the founder of this color brain, I found that my green, the points, the evaluation points for my green and my blue is just 1 point difference. So does that make me a blue brain? No, because it's genetic processing. So I cannot run away genetically. I'm born like that. I'm green brain, but I can adapt because and easy for me to adapt, right? Easy for me to adapt into blue brain because blue brain is next to me. All right. So my blue brain and my green brain, 1 point difference. But even though it's 1 point difference, it's half a point. Okay, of course, no half point. Even if it's half a point difference, you cannot escape. I cannot escape from the fact that genetically I'm born a green brain. But in the course of my work, right, I developed my blue brain to be almost as close to my green brain. Right. And also I find that when I go out to present, because if I'm not training, I'm actually a salesperson. I actually wear two hats. I'm doing sales and I'm doing a training at the same time. If I'm not training, I'm selling. If I'm not selling, I'm training. So, and then usually first I'll see the HR, which I'm very comfortable with because it's blue brain, and now my blue brain is very high, so we are like good friends. I'm best of friend, BFF with the HR people because blue brain. However, the blue brain, because they like me so much, because I make them feel very comfortable and so on and so forth. They say, Rachel, I'm not the decision maker. I have arranged with you to do a presentation for my boss, the CEO. And most of the time, not all, not all. Most of the time, I find that the CEO or the bosses are actually red brain. Yeah, red brain. Now, I'm the green brain. Although I'm not totally opposite to the red brain, but remember, I don't think, before I act before I think, no. But the red brain analysis is very, very critical. So if I behave as myself, the green brain, I will never get any job with the red brain. I will never close with the red brain. I never earn the respect of the red brain. So for me to go and get the job from the red brain, the green brain, has to study the genetic processing of the red brain and behave like the red brain. So I make sure that I'm short and to the point. Remember, red brain, clarity is power. I make sure that when I talk, I'm very clear exactly what I'm selling, what I'm presenting to him. For example, it's 3 days, 2 night team building program. I make it short, to the point, very clear what I'm going to do. Day 1, this is what I'm going to teach you. Day 2, day 3. This is how the red brain likes it. Yeah. So this is the lesson, the key lesson number 1 from doing this color brain, is that once you know your color brain, and you can now roughly also, because based on their working style, what color brain they are. If you want to influence somebody, if you want to convince somebody, and if you want to persuade somebody, you have to behave as the other brain color, not your own brain color. If you are green brain and you say to me, Rachel, I am green brain, I'm born a green brain, I will die a green brain, okay? I'm born a green brain, so I'll die a green brain. So I'll present as a green brain, I'll train as a green brain, I will sell as a green brain. Sorry, la friend, no deal. No deal. You cannot get the results in your working life. You'll be under extremely stressed. If I'm selling, okay, my program, sometimes I'm asked to see the chief accountant or the chief engineer, and I know very much for a fact if they're engineer and if they're IT, or the COO, the chief operating officer, chances are they're purple brain, and they're directly opposite to me. So it's not so easy. The purple brain is directly opposite to me, but I have no choice. I have to go and close. And the HR says to me, Rachel, you have to convince this my chief engineer, because he's training all his engineers in creativity and problem solving. All right, you have to convince him. You have to convince him and to highlight all the things, what you're going to do, and so on and so forth. Now, bearing in mind, the purple brain needs a lot of data and information. So I have to be very, very well prepared. You ask me 1,001 questions. And if I don't give him, as compared to the red brain is short, clear, straight to the point. But the purple brain, you have to give all the details. So the 3 days, 2 nights, I'll say, okay, this topic, and in this topic, I'm going to do this, and in this other topic, and so on. So I work according to the color brain, that whether I'm presenting to or selling to, which is the key lesson in color brain, right? You don't operate, if you want to convince, to persuade, to influence, these 3 words. And you need to do that in your work all the time. You cannot dictate to people anymore. I always say, I teach leadership and I tell people, this is the 21st century. You don't dictate to people anymore. This is not the olden times where the boss says this and then everybody obey you. Now in leadership, you have to influence. You have to influence, you have to persuade, you have to convince, you have to inspire, you have to motivate people. These are the buzzwords. You cannot motivate anybody if you remain as your own brain color. If I'm the team leader, all right, I'm green brain, and I find that all my teammates are blue brain, or all my teammates are red brain, right? So I have to know how to operate. Yeah, I give you another story. There was a lady, she's green brain. She went for a vacation, and then she met a guy there, and the guy happened to be purple brain. But as I say, love is blind. She fell head over heels in love with him. All right. So she was on vacation for about a month. When she came back from the vacation, she already was engaged to him, married to him. They married somewhere in America, Las Vegas, I guess, and come back with a wedding ring. And I say, you propose to him, right? She say, yes, the green brain. If you wait for the purple brain to propose to you, maybe about another 5 or 6 years later. So the green brain within 1 month fell in love with him, proposed to him, say, let's get married. Interestingly enough, the purple brain agreed. The purple brain agreed, right? And then she is very, very creative because she's green brain. So she starts designing clothes and she starts to sell them online. And of course, doing very well because green brain creative, all the design, very canggih. She used the materials, and all this and all that. And then the purple brain, now the husband, right, set up a very nice website for her, of course, do all the technical things, set up the website, digital marketing, all that to promote her, and she's doing very well. In fact, they're doing so well, they outsource, right? When she designed, then she outsourced the manufacturing of the clothing. But the outsourcing, there was an issue with quality. They couldn't control the quality because the orders were coming in so fast and they couldn't manage. So in the end, they sat down and discussed, and the purple brain says, I will set up a factory for you, right? In Cheras, I set up a factory. I will, and then this purple brain did everything, set up the factory, went to look for the location, buy the machinery, source for the machinery, set up the whole system, and then look for the foreign workers, brought in foreign workers, did all the paperwork, the documentation and everything. She just focused on designing the clothes. And she's actually very, very attractive and very gorgeous looking, I should say. So she actually was her own model on the Facebook or the website, she designed the clothes and then she will model it, take the pictures, and was doing very well. So listen to this carefully, yeah? The green brain is very creative. So actually, the purple brain compensates for all the weakness in the green brain, which is no system, all right? Never do the analysis, not enough data, not enough information. These are the weak points of the green brain, right? So the purple brain compensates for her. Now, she, on the other hand, right, compensates for the purple brain, right? She is highly creative, so she's the main designer. All right, and then she's very fast. So she has every season, she has 2 or 3 or 4 looks. Very, very fast, she come up with the look because green brain is very, very fast. Right. So she will call it like spring blossoms, autumn fanfare or summer joy or something. And she come up with very creative names for her collection, like summer joy for summer and so on. So, and she and eventually they also export. So for temperate countries, she come up with different names like that. That the green brain is very good. All right. And then she also managed the staff because purple brain is not good with people. So the green brain, she comes in also, she inspires the staff, she motivates the staff because now they have their own factory, right? Small little factory. So they have staff, right? About, 20, 30 people. So she comes in and do. So she actually compensates for the weakness in the purple, which is the lack of communication with people, the lack of sensitive towards people, their EQ, their emotions, and so on. Which is very interesting, right? So the green brain compensates for the weakness in the purple brain. The purple brain compensates for the weakness in the green brain. But the biggest issue is communication and relationship because they're totally opposite. So a lot of relationships, they actually complement each other, but the relationship break up because of this communication issue and the relationship issue, right? And if you notice this other chart here, this one actually will detect your communication. That's why it's called color brain CBCI. Remember I told you is this questionnaire here is called a color brain communication inventory, because not only this questionnaire here tells you your brain color, it also tells you your communication issue with the other color. So obviously you can see this short end is pointing to the purple brain and the longer end is pointing to the green brain. So it shows very clearly that problem there. So sometimes if it is a square, sometimes people get a square in the graph. Quite a few of my participants get a square. The square simply means you cannot get along with all the colors, including your own color. Or you can get along very well with all the colors, including your own color. Right, so we have that. Yeah. So same thing with the red brain and the blue brain. One last story I tell you. I did a time management 2 days in-house in Penang for a manufacturing company, SME because about 100, 150 employees. there were about 25 people in the training. Now, out of these 25, about almost 12 of them, no, 10 of them were managers, and the rest were executives. In other words, the managers and the subordinates are in the same training. Excuse me. They are in the same training. And during the start, some of them come very early and they come and talk to me and says, Rachel, can we talk to you? And during coffee break also, they pull me aside to one corner and they say, Rachel, I want to tell you something. I say, okay, please tell me what all your issues so I can help you with these 2 days training. And they all complain this. They say, Rachel, we're not clear, with the instructions given to us. That means they're referring to the 10 managers who are also in the same class with me. We are not clear with the instructions given to us. We're actually very confused most of the time. I'm like, excuse me? Yes, we're very confused, We don't really know what is required, All the time, most of the time, I think, or sometimes we just guess, what we are supposed to do. We guess, we guess we're supposed to do, and we just do it. We're not quite clear, And then when we check back with the managers, we get even more confused. I'm like, excuse me? Yes, after we check with the manager, we get even more confused when we come back. So sometimes we don't want to check anymore because we get more confused. So this was before I did the color brain with them. So after the color brain, I started this color brain, and they did the questionnaire with me together in class. And do you know what I found out? That all the 10 managers out of 10, right? There were 10 and the rest 25 people, the 15 people or so were executives, the subordinates. Now these 10 managers, 8 of them were actually red brain. And 2 of them were purple brain. There was no green brain or blue brain in the manager. And I say the strength of the red brain is clarity. Clarity is power. So the interesting thing is, so when I told them, they were in a state of shock. I said, that's your strength. But of course, I can't, right? Because I can't tell the manager what their subordinates told to me, because it's in strict confidence. So I can't tell that. I got the feedback that they were very confused, and they were very, how should I say, confused and not clear. They use the word confused and not clear about the instructions given to them or the direction of the department, direction in which the department is moving. They're not clear and they're confused. This is interesting to me. So when I highlight that, they were also shocked. They show it on their faces. So I just kept quiet. But later I told them, so I say this is your strength, but you just have not activated it because awareness before change. You're not even aware that you're red brain. You're not even aware that your strength is clarity. So you have not activated that potential that's inside you. That's your talent. Clarity is your talent, is your potential, is your strong point as a red brain. Because it's genetic processing. It's genetic. And then they didn't believe that they were red brain, so they did my color brain cards and double confirm. The color brain cards is to double confirm your color. So double confirm. I said double confirm with the questionnaire and the color brain cards that you are red brain. Right? And they also admit that they're red brain because they're structured, they're logical, they are not people's person, they very focused on the task, they admit it, right? But they just simply have not activated their strength, which was very interesting to me. Yeah? So this color brain awareness before change, yeah, you really have to be aware of who you are, your genetic processing, so you can adapt, right? One last story. Second last story, actually, there was, I did also with a group of manufacturers, and this time they were in Johor, from Johor. And this company, in the class also is an in-house, so about 20 people, And these 20 people, the CEO was there, but he was not called the CEO, he was called the GM of the factory, but they say that's his highest position. The GM is the highest position in the factory, so the GM. So he brought along, and this GM says to me, Rachel, this is my right hand and my left hand. These are my team. That means his decision-making management team, my right hand and my left hand. Very good. So when they did the color brain with me, the GM obviously is red. The assistant GM was also red. The corporate, then they have corporate planner. The corporate planner was also red, and then the COO was purple. So there was a combination of red and purple, most of it. There was one lady on the team, and she was blue. And then during the coffee break, she came to me and she was crying. And I said, what happened? And I mean, she was not really crying, but her eyes were all red, and she was very upset, visibly very upset. And I said, what's the issue? And she says, Rachel, I don't want to be blue brain. I don't want to be blue brain. Because all her colleagues, the left hand, the right hand, what you call the left hand and right hand of the big balls, they are all red or purple. And she see herself as the weak link, right? And I told her, so now the question I ask you, the $6 million or $10 million question, what is the best color? So a lot of people will say either it's red or it's purple or it's green. The best color is your own color. So if you're blue brain, just focus on your strength. Just like Tony Fernandez, right? He's run such a successful airline for so many years until COVID overtakes him. Let's put it that way. That's not his fault, right? He was so successful. He's a blue brain, right? Richard Branson is green brain. The chaotic person is successfully running Virgin Records, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Property, and God knows, and he earns what they call like a toonship like that from the Queen, what they call it. Yeah, he earns the title so that people address him as Sir, I think, Sir Richard Branson. Yeah, S-I-R with a capital S. So he win all that, right? And red brain, of course, you have one of the most successful entrepreneurs, Microsoft founder, Bill Gates. And purple brain, we have Michael Dell, and we have Steve Jobs. So the best brain color, your own color, right? But as I have mentioned, you can develop and adapt. Like just when I go for presentation, I automatically put on you can say like a red brain hat, okay, red brain hat, or purple brain or blue brain. Blue brain, no need lah, because we are like BFF like that all the time. I with the HR people like BFF, best friend forever, right? Because we share so many similarities, the green and the blue. Okay, and then there was another one that I did in this company. Is a telecommunication company, small company, only about 20 staff, right? The people in the training were about 10 of them, okay? And one of them, she was the green brain, but she's a green brain, but her title is COO or the COO of the IT department. So in this telecommunication company, they set up a separate division called the IT department, and she's the head. The green brain is the head of the IT department. So when she did the color brain test with me, obviously again, the green and the purple, 1 point difference only 1 point difference. I cannot run away. She says, genetically, I'm green brain, right? Because that's who I am. I'm creative, I'm fast, I'm good with people. And you see the way she talks so fast, and she gets along very well. And you can see she communicating very well. That's green brain. Purple brain is not a communicator or a relator, right? But because of her job, she is made the head of IT. If she remains as the green brain, there's no chance at all, she will successfully become the head of the IT department. No chance, right? Because all the people that she's in charge, I think about 5 of them, they were all purple brain, because they're also in my class and they did the test for me. And she said, these are my subordinates. These are my 5 subordinates. Yeah, so that's the interesting thing. And one last one was that I met this lady also in the color brain, and she told me she's red brain. So she's very, very structured. She follows, she's very logical. She follows the procedure step by step, and she thinks long term. The very interesting thing is she married the one that's opposite to her. I always tell you, right? People always marry the one opposite to you. I don't know why. I think opposite attracts lah, and then love is blind. So she, of course, her husband is blue brain. Interestingly enough, she has 2 daughters, and she had them very late after several miscarriages. So these children are very precious to her. The 2 daughters are very precious to her because she had them very late after several miscarriages. Finally managed to conceive and get these 2 daughters. She didn't tell me about the other one, but the first one was green brain. So imagine in this family, the mother is red brain, the father is blue brain, and the daughter is green brain. So when the daughter was about 15 years, the daughter left home and never called back. And when she came home and discovered that the daughter was missing, she was in a state of shock. Luckily, the daughter left behind the address book or something by accident, and she called up every single friend that was in the address book that she found in the drawer in the daughter's bedroom. She called every single number. None of their friends says, no, we haven't seen her. We haven't met her for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And she was so stressed out when she was wondering, and she made a police report, a missing persons report, and keep searching, keep asking, going to the old school, going to a college, that time she was still about 15 years old in school, So going to the school and so on and so forth, and trying to track back and all that. And she resigned 24 hours. She resigned. She was in such a state of shock. She resigned 24 hours and just focused on finding the daughter. Finally, after about 2 weeks or so, I think, the daughter, I think, began to feel very guilty. You know, the green brains start to have a guilty conscience. So call her and tell the mother, I'm actually staying with a friend that you don't know about, but I'm quite close to this friend. And I'm so sorry I didn't call back. I will be back today. In an hour's time, I'll be home. Right? So imagine the green brain, the fact that the green brain survived for so long with the red brain, and she's hardcore red brain. She's not a mix of other colors. So really very tough when she's hardcore, really hardcore, because I talk to her, I know her, I interact with her. She's not just red brain, she's really hardcore, true red brain. And the daughter is hardcore, true green brain. You expect the green brain chaotic processing to follow your structure. Then she will like, they must wake up at 8 o'clock, breakfast at 8:30, then you come back for lunch, you must take your bath, you must do, then you must have your lunch at this time. She said everything, you know, she told me. And then after that, like an army camp, and then you do your revision, you can only watch TV at 6 o'clock for 1 hour, and after that, maybe you do a little bit of exercise. And everything is like so structured, you know. Hey, come on, green brain. How can the green brain survive? Green brain cannot survive like that. I'm green brain, so I know. Yeah. But the fact that the daughter survived for so long, 15 years. You remember what happened? The husband is blue brain. So the husband was actually the bridge between the chaotic green brain and the structured linear processing red brain. Husband was the bridge. The husband is the intuitive processing, the intuitor, the one who is people-oriented and act as the bridge between both of them. But ultimately also she chose to, so fed up, you know, she just go away without even calling the family for 2 weeks. So can you imagine how the green brain felt? That she felt so upset that she didn't want to call the parents, like let the red brain simmer for 2 weeks kind of thing, which is very interesting. So now, I mean, she left a job and then she says, my daughter is at the critical age, right? One is 15, I believe the other one is 12 or something like that, just to focus full time. But I didn't know the other daughter was brain color. So it's very interesting when you do color brain, and then you can see, you know, how you react with different people, what you should do, and so on and so forth. And of course, the key thing in color brain is to know, just like the group in Penang, you know, their red brain and their subordinate can say, Rachel, we are very confused. We don't know the direction. I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean you don't know the direction in which my department is heading? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing most of the time. And yet the boss, the superior are red brain, where clarity is powerful. Red brain. The biggest strength of red brain is clarity. So this is the interesting thing about color brain. These are the color brain cards that I show you. But of course, if virtual, I have to think of a different way to replace this, because in my face-to-face, then I use the color brain cards. And then, okay, so now we come to this color glasses syndrome. Color glasses syndrome. You can see I play the game with them. I can't do that, I guess, virtual, but I can do a discussion with them. All right, so sometimes when we talk about something, like the green brain said something, okay, let's come to this, right? And then purple brain will have a hard time to understand, because the green brain pops all over the place, right? Chaotic processing. And then she will like talk about A, and then she goes to B, and then C, and then she can come back to A again, and then go back to B again, and then go to D, and then come back to C. Absolutely no issue for the green brain. But the purple brain and the red brain is like surrender. We wave the white flag. Please give us a break. Can you be more systematic? Can you go point by point by selling 22? Right? And similarly, the blue brain talking about the environment, sensitivity, talking about EQ and all that. And then again, the brain and the purple brain is like, hey, excuse me, please get the job done. We just want to get the job done. Don't tell us about feelings and emotions and so on. We just want to get the job done. Yeah. So this is called colored glasses, right? The 4 colors. If you're green brain, you'll be wearing green glasses. Red brain, you're wearing red glasses. Blue glasses, and purple glasses. What does it mean? Simply means, if I'm green brain, I see the world as green. But excuse me, the world is not green. I mean, I see everybody as green. Excuse me, everybody is not green. right? You have your father-in-law could be red brain, your mother-in-law is blue brain, your daughter is green brain, another daughter is purple brain, your best friend is red brain, your grocer down the road is another color. Everybody is a different brain color. So how can you say I'm green brain? This is my genetic processing. I'm wearing green glasses, so I see my whole world is green. Inverted commas. No, right? The whole world is not green. The whole world is 4 colors. So no one wears the same glasses. And this is where conflicts arises, misunderstanding, cannot work together, quarrels, fights, don't want to talk to each other, I cannot understand, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, and so on and so forth, miscommunication, all this lah, because we are wearing different colors due to our brain color. Yeah. So imagine if you are wearing green color glasses, certain things will appear brighter to you and be very clear. And for green brain, no problem. They see creativity, they come up with ideas very fast. But this is not what other people are about. The fact you can see something so clear, I am confused, right? Just like the subordinate. The subordinate, most of them are blue brain and some are green brain. Among the subordinate, there were no red brain, referring back to the factory in Penang, to that company in Penang. Yeah. And so the red brain has to bear in mind, my subordinates are not red brain, so they cannot understand what I'm saying, right? I have to be more empathic, right? The problem is everybody is wearing green glasses. Some are wearing, not everybody is wearing green glasses. Some are wearing blue, red. So we call this colored glasses syndrome, leading to misunderstanding, miscommunication, what else? Fights and quarrels. I cannot understand, I cannot follow you. I have absolutely no idea, like the Penang subordinates told me, we have no idea where our department is going on because they're manufacturing, so many different departments, sales department, purchasing department, manufacturing department, planning department, you know, and production department, different departments. Now, applications, let me just check. Oops. I have run the time already. So Sumita, how do I continue? Do you want me to continue with this? So I'll just end here, right? The applications, obviously in leadership, in time management, in HR and people management, communication, relationships, coaching, counseling, planning, organizing, creativity, innovation, training, and learning. So sorry, I overrun the time. Nobody stopped me. So perhaps any questions that I can take before we call it a day? No questions? So thank you very much for being with me in this webinar. I hope you have enjoyed that. I couldn't see most of your faces. It's okay. I hope that I've been clear. If you want to know more about color brain and maybe to have a in-house course or to attend our public seminars on colored brain and emotional drivers, please get in touch with Excel Academy and they will give you more information. So finally, thank you very much for spending your time with me. Please feel free, if you have any more questions, you can text it or you can email to Excel Academy and they will get in touch with me. I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed the session. This is one of my passions to talk about color brains. So sometimes I just overrun the time because to me it's such an interesting area because it's about us, how we do things and why we do things.